Good afternoon. You have joined me today down by Waternish. Believe it or not, this is very similar. It's almost like going back in time, as I've already filmed this vlog, but the sound quality was so bad because the wind was really strong, and I just had this crackling noise on my microphone. So what I've done today is I've covered up the back of my microphone, and I'm fingers crossed it's going to work. But what I've come down to go photograph is the double arches down at the end of Waternish. Again, I don't know what they're called, no idea, but they are pretty special. You wait.
Woke up from a whisper, collared shirt down by my feet, stood on crowded bathroom row.
True to form on the eye of the sky, there's not only wind, but yes, there is rain. So the image I'm thinking about getting is over there, but I'm going to have to wait for this rain to pass. But I think I've got two compositions. I've got one low level, on the level I'm on now, and then for sunset I'm going to head up onto the cliff and hopefully get an image there. And again, I hope you can hear me properly, it's not just crackling all the time, because if it's anything like the footage last time, terrible, unusable. But I think I'm going to get some nice images. Right, need to put this away before it gets wet and broken. So the rain has stopped. As you can probably see, I'm a little bit wet. Totally worth it though. Coming here, getting a little bit wet. There is one issue though. The composition that I sort of saw from over there, hoping that I'd be able to get onto, is cut off by the sea. And I'll show you why it's been cut off and why I'm not going to go out that way. So just out in ahead of me, this is the rock that I was hoping to be able to get out onto, but as you can see, the water's rushing in and cutting it off. And now I don't know if the tide's at its highest yet or whether it's going to get higher, so I'm not going to make that error by climbing onto these rocks, getting that image, even though it looks like it'd be absolutely spectacular. What I am hoping though is if I climb up onto this cliff up here, I'll be able to get a very similar shot, different but hopefully similar and still beautiful. I think I found it. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And again, as I've been saying a lot during this vlog, I hope you can hear me. I really do, because I think tonight is going to be a winner. But I've got this beautiful beach stretching out, waves coming in off the side, it's side lit, and then I've got them beautiful dominant arches off as my focal point. And right now the clouds are breaking up. It's looking like it's going to be a sweet sunset. So I'm going to get set up. What else is there to do? So I've got it all set up and I've decided to put my three-stop graduated ND filter on the front and my polarizer on. But as soon as I'd finished, what happens? The sun goes away. So that means it still looks nice, but it's flat. And now I need that light to give that contrast on the cliffs, to give it shape, to give it texture. And also one thing I'm finding, because it's so windy, I've had to speed up my exposure a little bit. So I've gone all the way up to ISO 200, and that is really unusual for me, but I want this to be sharp, I want this to be pin sharp. And at the moment, because it's taking so long for an exposure on my normal 64 or L10 for the ISO sensitivity, it's just not giving me that detail. It's been soft. So I'm just going to sit here, I'm going to wait a little bit just to see if this light does come out, but if it doesn't, I'm going to move off to my main composition for today, because it is so weak. Right, fingers crossed. I'm getting all that mist kicked up by all these waves, and just it's reflection in the light, and it looks so good. But I'm thinking it's time to move on to the real composition, the one that I know is going to be a beauty. And the sound's probably just gone terrible. 1 second. There we are. Hopefully it sounds a little bit better now, less crackly. Also, this might sound terribly. But, oh, what a day. What a day to be alive. Tide is at the perfect level. It has made this composition that I've shot once before so much better. So much better. Oh, both of the arches have water running through them. Perfection. Absolute perfection. And I reckon I've got about half an hour now until sunset, and it's looking like it might be ideal. Might be that perfect sunset. You wouldn't believe the weather that's been on the island today. It has been miserable, dreary. I was so close to not coming out. But always, it's worth going out because you never know what's going to happen, especially if you're in a place like the Isle of Skye. So I've been having a little bit of a play around, and what I've decided to go for is a vertical shot but panoramic, sweeping all the way from the beautiful fence over here all the way around across the arch here over to these rocks here. And on the front of my camera, what I've decided to go for is the graduated neutral density filter, and I've put that flat. The reason why I've put that flat is so as I pan around I don't end up with like a weird dark triangle off to one side. And then I've got my polarizer on, just darkening off the water, and I'm going to wait until the light is right. I'm not going to do a panoramic through time. I'm going to wait until the light is at its best, and I'm going to shoot, and I'm going to do 3 images of each one. I'm going to do a bracketed shot, one super dark, so I've still got the highlights in that sun, one way overexposed, so I've got the shadows, and one completely neutral and in the middle, so that I can blend them all together. And then hopefully I'm going to create something that is true to truly how beautiful this scene is, because if I do, it'll be just as good as what I can see with my eyes right now, because it is stunning. So, as you'll have seen during that time lapse, a lot has happened. Mainly God rays, so many God rays. Now, God rays are difficult to photograph because obviously there's high contrast between the highlights and the shadows. So what I have been doing to try and battle that is, in my camera it's got a little meter reading, and it gives me a central neutral exposure, but within there the shadows are still underexposed and the highlights are still a little bit blown out. So what I've been doing is I've been taking a shot on that neutral point, because I can always retrieve them shadows, because, you know, modern day cameras, pretty spectacular. But the highlights I can't retrieve, because once it's blown out, that information is gone, doesn't exist anymore. So what I've done is I've been dropping it a full stop and a half below, taking a second exposure with them highlights. Still a little bit blown out, but if they were completely sharp, everything else would be so dark and it'd be really hard to blend together and it would look really unnatural. So I've got them 2 images, and then I've done a series of 4 images to create the panoramic, and I've done it a few different times, so I've got some to choose from, and fingers crossed it's going to work out and it's going to look beautiful. Right now the light is absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful, much better than I was expecting, so much better than the first time I came here. Always good to revisit, because you never know what's going to happen, and I'm just going to keep shooting until hopefully I get that definite one that looks incredible. The heavens have opened, it's raining, but look at that beautiful rainbow. Wow, it's all so pretty. Like, look at that behind me. Wow, absolute wow again. Beautiful. The Isle of Skye. But the weather has defeated me. I am cold. I've been wind battered for about an hour now, and I'm gonna start heading back to the car, get the heater on, get nice and warm. But I hope you've enjoyed the vlog. I know it's kind of been a bit blah 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 blah, and then beautiful scenery blah blah blah, but it's just really hard to vlog in strong winds, but it creates the best images. And at the end of the day, I'm not here as a vlogger, I'm here as a photographer. That is my interest here. This is just a way to help spread my passion for it and my love of being in the outdoors. But anyway, I'm gonna pack up, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna go get warm, get some food. Here's the final image. I hope you enjoyed it. It's been amazing to take this image. Like, honestly, it has. It's had ups and downs, wet, dry, lots of wind, no shortage of wind. But just get out there, really, honestly. That is the hardest part, to leave the house. But once you're out, it's always enjoyable, no matter what the weather. Anyway, enough from me. I'll see you next time.